Do you guys like or love his new single, Messin Around? I love it.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
With Enrique Iglesias.
Enrique Iglesias, which, you know, Iglesias in English is churches, so I call him Enrique Churches.
What does he say to that?
Oh, man, Enrique, you know, Enrique is one of the most stand-up guys that I've met in the industry. And not only as an artist is he an amazing person and has been in the game for so many years, but as a business partner and as a friend, he's taught me a lot in the game. So me and him have a great relationship where I hit him with some crazy things. If anybody were to find our text one day, they're going, oh, these guys are crazy. Because I hit him up and be like, dímelo, sucia.
Dirty boy. Sucio.
No, yo le digo, sucia.
We see your music videos, we get an idea.
Yeah. No, we always have a great time. He's cool, man. He really is. So actually, we're looking to do a couple things with the next year coming up. You know, we might be having a little tour coming together again.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into that tour for sure. But I remember that tour. That was epic, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love to go on tour with Enrique. He always attracts the most beautiful, sexy, sophisticated things in every area.
I feel like you both do.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Okay.
No, he's a humble man. He's a humble man.
Wait.
That way you say no comment.
Wait, but that being said, because really, there are always women swarming around you, Enrique, all the time. What makes a woman stand out to you? I mean, because they're always so beautiful. Like, how do you go, that one?
Stand up, mommy.
No, to me, the most beautiful thing about I was raised by women. So women, being raised around women is what made me a man. And for me, a sophisticated woman that knows how to play her position, to me, is very sexy.
What is that position?
Yeah.
Stop.
I mean, it all depends where you're at. Depende del lugar. Yes, I agree. There could be different positions, but with that said, is meaning that just knows how to make her man stronger.
Yeah.
You know, and knows when to pull him to the side, or knows when to have that conversation with him, and not necessarily always has to be in front of people. It could be, you know, hey, let me pull you to the side, let me talk to you real quick. Hey, this person here, I think that we got to watch out for that person. Or this person here is, you know, is playing you. Or this person's a great person. There's something about this vibe. Or, you know, things like that. Yeah. Because as far as, especially in my world, well, it's all of our world, to be honest with you. It's a very interesting business. And in this business, we all know, it's shiesty, it's sharks, it's a pool of blood with a bunch of sharks, to be honest with you. And when you have somebody next to you that can tell you, you know, at least give you some kind of guidance, be your third eye, or your fourth eye, fifth eye.
How many eyes she got?
Great. That's a turn on for me, you know, from a woman.
Thank you, Babo. But you also have lots of fun, and want to play a little game called Messin Around based off of your single.
Let's do it.
This is the way it works, right? So choose an all-star lineup of celebrities that you would pick to take with you if you were messing around in these certain areas. For example, if you're messing around picking up on girls, one celebrity wingman or woman, who do you roll with?
One celebrity wingman or woman, who would I roll with if I was messing around?
Yeah.
I got it. Sofia Vergara.
Oh, she'd make a great wing woman.
Yeah, for sure she'll be a great wing woman. She gets it. She knows how to have fun, enjoy, and who doesn't want to hang out with Sofia?
Worst case scenario.
You know, Sofia's the woman that the woman look at and go, oh, no, pues nada. I've never been with a woman, but I'd be with Sofia Vergara.
Because don't you find it true? If you roll up with a girl that is Sofia Vergara, looks like Sofia Vergara, all the other women are like, oye, ¿qué tiene ese? What does that guy have?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I think we're on the same page.
I love it. All right, Babo, if you're messing around, about to throw the most epic house party.
Okay.
Who do you bring? You're like, I want this party to be lit. Who is that you call up?
Oh man, I gotta call Uncle Luke and Little John.
Oh, take it way back, Babo.
Yeah, because if Luke is involved, then we know that, well, if Luke is involved, no social media can be involved, that's for sure.
So you're safe.
Yeah. You know, Luke is the one that introduced the interesting dances to the. It's funny because like when Miley Cyrus hit the MTV Awards and they're like, oh, Miley Cyrus twerking. I'm like, Babo, they've been twerking in my neighborhood since like '87.
Where you been?
Well, we were doing that in elementary at the little cafeteria dance.
But it was el baile del perrito, bro. El baile del perrito. El baile del perrito.
Dale. You already know it.
All right, if you're messing around and you're about to run for president. Pitbull for presidente? Yeah! Do you like it or do you love it?
Oh, you
Ay, mi
better start
madre.
running.
Who do you choose as your vice president, celebrity status?
Oh man, if I'm running for president, who do I choose as my vice
Yeah.
president? I would have to go with. Ahora sí me la tiraste dura, bro. Mi madre.
Lil Jon.
Yeah. I'd be like, John, we might have to go to war with this country. What? John, the economy's a little jammed up. What? I said, John, we're gonna let all the immigrants in. Okay. Yeah.
Do you guys like it or do you
Yeah.
That's
Now, you know
it,
what?
man.
I'm not messing with you. We might as well go with Little John. Me and Little John always had like a Batman and Robin kind of relationship, which I'll always be Robin. That's someone that I owe, a lot of my career to. He is a great guy and continues to be, and one of the most humblest guys that I've ever dealt with in the business. But in between Little John and Mark Anthony, man, to be honest with you. Yeah. Mark Anthony would be a great vice president.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you know what? And something I admire about you and Mark Anthony, honestly, on a personal level,
Thank you,
is the amount of community work that you guys do. He has his Maestro Cares Foundation, which is building orphanages all around Latin America. You have Slam.
Yes.
Tell us about Slam, because what I love about you, Pablo, is that you use this amazing platform that God has blessed you with to reach out and help others, especially the youth.
Always. I watch. Man, I thank God I've been blessed to be able to travel the world, and thank you guys, for always supporting for so many years. Appreciate it. And thank you. It may not seem that way, but I'm 16 years deep in the game. I started in the game in 99, 2000. So to be able to travel the world and see everything that goes on, and everybody talks about change, and everybody talks about hope, and everybody talks about how to make things better, but everybody has a hidden agenda. So when I see these politicians, that's why I call politics, politricks. And that's what it is. I mean, we're watching it happening right now. This has to be the most awful, disgusting, ridiculous, ludicrous. I mean, we could go on and on, no?
He's a good rapper, too.
Yeah, he's amazing. But more than anything, it's como no te da orgullo. It doesn't make you proud to be American when you see what's going on with these presidential debates right now. And you look at it, and it's almost like the WWF, like when Hulk Hogan went against Andre the Giant. They're making a big deal out of nothing at the end of the day, because they got in the ring, and God bless them in their professional careers, but it was fake fighting. It wasn't real fighting. It wasn't MMA. It wasn't boxing. And that's what I'm seeing right now. So when I got the opportunity to be able to really make a change, I thought about it, and I broke it down to the basics. What made a change in my life? A teacher made a change in my life. In second grade,
Shout out, respect to all teachers.
Yeah, shout out to all the teachers. And in second grade, I was living in Georgia. I lived in a foster home in Georgia, in Roswell, Georgia at the time. Was in a little bit of a jammed up situation. And I had a teacher named Miss Ryan in second grade. And she took care of me. She loved me. And she knew that we were in a situation, but she always made it better, let's just say, no? And then you had a teacher in 10th grade, going into 11th would be Miss Martinez, which is Hope Martinez. And she's the one that really helped out break my musical career by believing in us, no? So I said, man, if we could get these kids when they're young, mold their minds, teach them what it is to believe in themselves, focus, inspire themselves, and educate them so that they can make educated decisions going into life, and they can watch television, or they can watch social media, they can watch everything on la pantalla, because at the end of the day, guys, these TVs get smarter, these phones get smarter, and we get dumber. Let's call a spade a spade. And with that said we want these kids to outsmart that. And that's what Slam is all about. When you catch those little kids, and mind you, I can look at them and know their life, look at them and know their story without even speaking to them, because I feel you, I feel your struggle, I feel your family sacrifice. Yeah. And I don't mean to make this a long answer, but you touched up on a very passionate subject for me. And that to me is real change. That to me is when you can really send them out there and they make a difference. They become the animals, the monsters of what the future is, without working on the two biggest diseases in the world, which my mom taught me. And I was going, AIDS, Ebola. She goes, no, son, ignorance and greed. And my friend, we're living it right now as we speak. If we could teach those kids how to maneuver and navigate around that, then my friend, we have a bright future. And we will, poco a poco.
Absolutely.
Con la ayuda de Dios, poco
Give it
a
up
poco.
for Pitbull Familia. Thank you for sharing that, brother.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
I know that, and I think a lot of people don't know or maybe don't see that side of Pitbull. And I think it's very important, Pablo, that people realize that you're not just doing all this for yourself, but you're doing it for your community. So thank you for sharing that.
No way, shape, or form. It's my pleasure.
Climate Change, new
Yeah.
album. Officially, when is it dropping?
Officially, it will be dropping. Good question. I know it's in July sometime. You know, this happens every album. You're recording, a new record comes in, you're doing this, new record comes out. So sometime in July, we're definitely putting out the record. As far as, you know, it's funny with climate change, as you see, the last album was Globalization.
Yeah.
The album before that was Global Warming.
Yeah, what's your deal with the temperature?
I'm trying to tell y'all something.
Oh.
If I made a record about global warming or made a record about globalization or made a record about climate change, I wouldn't listen to it. Like, I can't get y'all dancing talking about, get to the club and climate change, get to the club and globalization, get to the club and global warming. They'd be like, what is he talking about? You know, so I've always looked at it the way, like, my grandmother used to feed me. Abuela used to feed me. She'd say, hey, mira esa lagartija. I would look over, lagartija's a lizard. So I'd look over, oh, where's the lizard, where's the lizard? And she'd put the tomato under the rice, under the steak, because I didn't like tomato. You know? And next thing you know, I ate it. But you know, she had to do it avioncito.
Yeah. Yeah, to get you to eat, right? Here it comes, here it comes.
Yeah, and right when you're going, she...
Oh, missed it.
And after about, I would say, 2-3 plates, not the same day, porque imagínate, I wouldn't be here, I started asking for the tomato. So what do I mean by it? That's the same way I look at music. You know, there's always a hidden message. Yeah. If I were to come out and tell y'all about it, then maybe y'all wouldn't listen. But if I put the puzzle together for you guys and create a treasure hunt, then you start to go, whoa, wait a second, maybe he's trying to lead us towards something. Yeah. And where I'm going with that is that, guys, we could talk about the economy. Guys, we could talk about these bull presidential candidates. Guys, we could talk about what they feel is a problem with immigration. Living in a country that was built by immigrants. We can talk about a lot of things, but one thing that we cannot come up with a solution for if we keep, and I know there's little kids here, and pardon my French, if we keep fucking with it and we keep messing with it, is this earth. Yeah. And Mother Nature, my friend, does not play around. So therefore, that's what I'm trying to tell you, global warming, globalization, and climate change. Believe it or not, but y'all know every summer you're going, oye, no por nada, pero un calor allá afuera.
It's so hot.
Like, damn, I remember when we used to roll with the windows down. Like, yeah. Now you can't even put the windows down. You're like, yeah. Hurricanes getting bigger. The other day, the one hit Mexico, like a Category 6.
It was ridiculous. There wasn't even that category before.
Yeah, tornadoes like all through Tornado Alley. You got you know, now you got earthquakes all through Oklahoma. You know, things are happening. Things are happening. You know, we can act like, you know what it is? It's the classic case of the tail wagging the dog. We're looking at the tail, but we're not even looking at the mouth that can potentially bite us. Absolutely. So watch out for this dog, because I'll bite you. No, I'm just messing with you.
Uh-oh, and I let go.
Yeah.
But did you know you were going to do that this whole time? Like, all of these albums that you've set up, like, you've had this plotted and planned from the very beginning.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at 2009, when I publicly started stating goals, because we won a big case against a record company called TVT Records. And that was our freedom. So 2009 was freedom, 10 was invasion, 11 was build empire, 12 was grow wealth, 13 put the puzzle together, 14 buckle up, 15 make history, 16 disruption, and 17 gingerbread man plan. Catch me if you can.
Oh.
Dude,
right,
that's what it's about, though. It's about visualizing. Since you put message into, like, songs and albums, where were you trying to get us with that song? Tan, terita, tan, terita, tiene tremendo
Culo.
I mean, that's a good point.
Where were we going with that one, Baba? Where are you leading us?
All right, so I'll tell you what. At that time, if you notice, I'm 10 albums deep now. I got 10 albums out there, but I also had 8 mixtapes. Okay, so we're constantly producing and making music. And at the time, with that record, Little John being instrumental in that record, I'm driving through Miami, and on the radio station, Mr. Vegas had a record called Pull Up, you know? I didn't know what the hell Mr. Vegas was saying. God bless him, you know? Wagwan, Mr. Vegas, you know? One time on my Jamaicans. But the VJ, it was DJ Laz on, and he was like, oh, hey, you know, that sounds like culo. And I go, damn, that sounds good. Went to the studio same day, true story, went to the studio same day and knocked out a verse over the beat, and it's a rhythm, you know, so Jamaicans, they jump on it. It'd be one beat that 25 artists jump on. Me not being Jamaican, but I jumped on it anyway. When I finished the first verse, and one of the producers comes in, Lou Diaz from the Diaz Brothers, and he goes, hey, that sounds like a record, you should do another verse. I said, well, shit. Knock out another verse. Same night, the guy burns the CD, you know, the CDs at the time. Takes it to this club, and Little John happens to land in town. He's like, hey, where you at tonight? I was like, no, I'm going to this little club right quick, low-key, but everybody knows how to have a good time there, literally. And there was no social media, so even more literally.
You really had a good time.
Yeah.
With no consequence.
And I'm sitting down on this like this bench because it's a a bar, like a wooden bar, old school kind of bar. And I'm telling Little John, like, yo, I knocked out this freestyle on this, and I knocked out this, and I knocked out that. He's like, yeah, that's great. And the Kulo record comes on, the DJ's playing it.
From that burned CD?
From the burned CD, yeah. And I'm going, holy shit, right? He plays the record, and John goes, shut up. I'm like, all right, whatever John tells me, I'm like, okay, what's up? He's like, what's this? I said, I just knocked that out today, as a matter of fact. He goes to me, that's a hit. Like I'm going, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Kulo is a hit? Oh, man.
He's like, it rules this world, bro.
Yeah. So I knew it was a hit. He goes to me, tomorrow I'll bring it to the studio. I knock it out. We went to the studio called Circle House in Opelika. And sure enough, he jumps on it. And this looked like a drug transaction at the end of the day. Because then I took the CD, the 36th Street and Biscayne Boulevard, met with one of the VJs there. Her name was Lucy Lopez. Yeah. And I give her the CD. 2 hours later, it's on the radio. 2 weeks later, one of the biggest records in the country.
No way.
And that's the story behind.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but the crazy part is,
That's
awesome.
Amazing.
Is that awesome?
That's how that record came about. Yeah. Could I ever think that was the kind of impact it was gonna have? No, but I mean, it was it was great because it created a lot of fun times in the club. I'll tell you that much.
Sure.
This is,
yeah.
No, thank you. No, I want to thank you for that record,
yeah,
bro.
I bet.
lot of great spring breaks, all the above, Pablo. Thank you so much.
That was like my Little John / Uncle Luke injection into the world.
You know how much child support is owed out there thanks to that record?
Yeah, I know, right?
Then that means I gotta come see the government for a cut. But you know what's crazy is when I'm in the shows and I see, you know, because it was beautiful is the demographic that comes to the shows skews from the grandmother all the way down to the granddaughter, and then you have, you know, the whole family having fun, right? And then you're going, esa jevita tan enterita tiene tremendo, y la abuela dice,
la abuela. I love it.
Making everybody feel sexy, all ages.
Pablo,
gotta love it.
Pitbull, do you still do this? I remember, and maybe you might not remember this, but a mutual friend of ours, Enrique Santos, legendary on-air DJ in Miami.
Great guy.
But one day I was in Miami, and this is when I was doing Spanish radio in San Francisco and then Dallas. But he's like, yo, come hang out with me. I'm going to take you somewhere, some late night in Miami. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. We roll up, and Pitbull, it's like 2008, 2009. You're chilling, and you have this iPod pad, if you will. You know where you used to stick it in, and then it played the music.
Yeah.
But Pitbull had it, and he's in this nice little restaurant outdoor, just bumping the crap out of this.
Yeah.
Like, didn't care what was going on around him. And I remember you had this. You had a napkin because your iPod didn't connect correctly.
Yeah.
So you had a napkin to get it to work right, Latino style. And you were listening to music from around the world and just listening constantly to beats. And you were about to work with Akon at the time. You were so stoked about that.
We had just done the record. We were looking to do the record Shut It Down, which is on Revolution. With Akon, good friend of mine that I've known for many, many years through a mutual friend that transitioned to him. May he rest in peace. That's what makes that story so beautiful is that you remember that napkin behind the iTouch, and then whenever it didn't work, because that gets me hot, man. I'm gonna tell you what gets me hot. When you invest money in the technology and like 2 weeks later it doesn't work.
That is the story of my life.
No. Because I remember when I was a kid, I'd have to stand next to like this hanger as an antenna. And then somebody in the family would be like, right there, stay right there. And then they got the reception.
And that was you.
And then you gotta stay. And you do it for like 15 minutes and you go, no, now it's your turn. So you always found a way one way or another. So I always find a way to figure out how to, I would say at least try to outsmart what technology is when you try to get me for my money like that. Mind you, I swear to God, on my kids, I got the same speaker in my book bag right now.
Wow.
You know how many deals I've cut with that speaker? Okay, Shakira one time came to hang out. I pulled out that speaker, started putting music, and that's how she ended up doing Loca con su tigre, and she ended up doing Rabiosa, and also I'm Addicted to You. From that same speaker. Yeah, I mean, well, that was the last time that she was out. You know, now she got a little, good for Shakira.
Yo.
Great thing is, it's not mine.
You gotta, do we know for sure?
For sure.
Yo, that would be some breaking news right now, right?
I know, wait a minute.
Like someone say, oh man, we don't got what the nigga got.
Little napkin in the
Waka. Yo,
Ella loca con su tigre.
Who's that tigre?
Loca.
No, tigres son mexicanos, not cubanos. Very good.
Nah, pero imagínate, todo el mundo son tigres, brothers.
Pablo, you got your upcoming summer tour called the Bad Man Tour.
Yeah.
With Prince Royce and Farruko joining you. That's going to be real good. But Nina wants to know about the Bad Man situation.
What you want to know, Nina?
Why is it got to be bad man, though?
Because bad man's like a great man.
Is it?
Yeah, for sure it is.
All right. So it's like, you know, you're a bad bee. So like you're like a bad man.
Yeah, because
censored
I
myself
think
right
in
there.
order to, you know, in order for a woman to be, I was raised by women. And one thing I always seen about being raised by women, one thing they always look for is to be provided for, protected for, and loved. Okay?
True.
And love doesn't only mean like, oh, I love you. No, but love means like, I love everything about you. Like, you did your nails, oh, nice color. Maybe sometimes it's not the best color. At least you know I'm being real with you. You know, hey, you did your hair. Oh, wow, your hair looks great. Oh, what did you do differently? You know, it's like, because women, I've seen it growing up, they work so hard just to look a certain way, presentable, let's just say, to the world. And to be a bad man is to understand that. To be a great man is, you wouldn't want somebody on your line that when you go into the neighborhood, you don't feel safe around. No. You wouldn't want somebody on your line that when you go into a business meeting can't cut the right deal, or at least have the intuition of going, maybe we shouldn't even do this deal. It's not good for us, our future, and our family, let's just say. Well, in order to have that kind of intuition, you need to be a bad man. You need to be a wolf. You need to, you need to be that shark. You need to be able to have, just like a woman has a sixth sense.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when she's like, ¿qué tú estás haciendo?
Where you been? What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah. You know, you're going, coño, pero como ella sabe esto. You know?
Pitbull.
Yeah.
Pitbull.
We got to have that too, and that's what makes us a bad man.
Who wants a bad man?
Yeah!
All right, I can get down with that.
All kinds of girls are like, I'm your little Red Riding Hood wolf. Pitbull, can your lady have your password to your cell phone?
My lady had my, well, first of all, yeah.
Here we go.
And I grew up around, my mom, hey, if I opened a letter in the house or something like that, that was my ass. Like, privacy was the biggest thing that there was. Como dicen, el que busca encuentra. You know, el que busca encuentra al final del día. And
If
I tell
you keep
everybody,
looking for it,
you're gonna
find
find it. You're gonna find it. And what I mean by it is, it's my phone, so you shouldn't be going through it, just like I wouldn't go through your phone, okay? And on another note, too, I always use this analogy where some of you guys, your favorite restaurant. Let's say here in New York, my favorite restaurant is Dykeman Express over there on Washington Heights. If I love the food that comes out, but if I went into that kitchen, I might not eat that food. So in life, if you love what you got, enjoy it.
Don't look too deep into it. All right?
You start looking in that kitchen, you be like, man, that plate of food is garbage.
Just be thankful. Just be thankful the meal tastes good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and let me tell you, all the food in Dykeman Express tastes good, and the waitresses are beautiful, so I'm sure the kitchen's great.
All right, Bubble. Before we get into our questions from our audience,
Yeah.
your collaborations are amazing, Bubble, and I can't wait for the collaborations coming out on your new album. But if you were to choose one artist, dead or alive, to do your last song ever, which collaborator? Who do you choose, Pablo?
I always say it is the truth, con la reina, Celia Cruz. You know, para descanse, azúcar.
Azúcar.
Yeah, I would. And we're gonna do it. You know, I just don't like to push that subject because it's so legendary and iconic that I don't wanna. We're gonna make the best of it. Porque no voy a hablar de esa mierda y traerlo en el universo. ¿Tú me entiendes?
He said, "Don't look into the kitchen. Just chill."
Enjoy it.
That's all. Just enjoy the meal, Bubba.
Here's my password. Don't look in the kitchen.
What did you guys learn at the Pitbull interview today? Don't look in the kitchen. Just eat.
And you want a wolf.
Yeah.
I'm listening, just so you
Nina was
know. I'm
listening
taking
right there.
notes.
Well, I can't wait to hear that, Bubba. And Nina, we got some artists, some of our questions from our audience today.
We do. First one from Wanda Catalano from Mineola. Where's Wanda?
Wanda.
What's
Dímelo,
up,
Wanda.
Wanda.
Wanda would like to know, how do you find the time to manage all of your businesses on your own?
How do I find the time to manage all my business on my own? Well, for one, anything that I do on my own. You know, we have a great team, great people that have the same vision. And as far as managing them, it's understanding that I have something in one of my favorite houses in the Keys. It's one of my favorite places to be. And there's a big thing that says, there's no losing, only learning. There's no failure, only opportunities. And there's no problems, only solutions. And when you run into a business, understand that's what it is. You know, you're running into it, you're going to learn. You're going to run into opportunities, and you're going to solve problems. So with everybody around us, that's what we do. I look at every business like, okay, if you break it down, you go to a university, let's call the best ones. Your Yale, your Harvard, your Berkeleys, your MITs, your Chichu, lo que sea, ¿no?
Perfecto. Kill me, what's your name? University?
Don't look in the kitchen, university.
Don't look in the
Okay?
That's the one I'm going to.
But you can study, it's going to take, what, 4 years? You're going maybe 8 years, depending on what the profession may be. So I look at every business like our university. Only difference is I'm not paying them, they're paying us. And when I, because we all know at universities and their interest rates are very interesting. You know, so that's the way I look at it. I'm just constantly learning, and I don't look at anything as a failure or losing. So while we're managing these businesses, there's nothing that lets me down, let's just say.
I feel like you need to like teach a class or write a book on
Oh, we
this.
will, we will.
Oh my
We got a
God.
book coming. It's called From Negative to Positive.
There it
and
is.
as far as
There you go.
yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
It had to be there.
Saw it
Thank you.
coming.
So inspirational.
And as far as on the motivational side, we're looking to be opening for Anthony Robbins pretty soon. Tony Robbins. I
Oh,
call him
that
Anthony
would be
Robbins.
amazing.
So we're going to be up there doing some things
I
with
get
him
so
also.
excited. I'm all about that
Yeah,
stuff, guys.
yeah. I grew up off that, so I know it works. I know it works.
It's real. We've got Joe Romeo of Franklin Square. Where's Joe Romeo?
What up, Joe?
Joe, what they do, Joe?
Oh,
Joe,
Joe Romeo.
Joe
What
look
up,
like my
bro?
cousin. Dímelo, primo.
Peloncito.
Joe Romeo would like to know, what was the turning point of your career and what sparked it?
The turning point in my career when I really got a chance and envision things from a different perspective, which is, hay un dicho cubano que dice, pasos cortos, vista larga, which is short steps, long vision, was in 2005. I was in Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo, and I listened to this record from Bob Sinclair called World Hold On. World, hold on. And it had that
Great
whistle.
song. Yeah.
And I seen these beautiful Dominican women dancing to it in the club. And I was in my mind, I was going, I wonder if they speak English. I swear to God. So I went over to him and I said, Mama, ¿tú hablas inglés? He said, un poquito. Oh, tú sabes, dica, un poquito. Y entonces, and I asked her, so, ¿te gusta esta canción entonces? You like this record? She says, I love it. I said, do you know what it's saying? She goes, no, but I love it. I said, we need to go this way.
Yes.
Right? So we need to make global music. Now, mind you, I started in the streets. I came from it, started on the block, you know, rapping for different things, rapping for the city. I mean, you go to Miami, and Miami, you know, is us. And a lot of us came up at the same time. Rick Ross, Flo Rida, Trick Daddy, Trina. And Luke was the birth of all of that for us. But in my shows, sometimes they'd be like, oh, yo, do that Damn It Man, or do this, or do that. You know, what's up, Pit? When you gonna do some more street records? And I always tell them that, hey, I made music to get out of the streets, not to stay in them. And 2005 was the turning point. When I seen that Bob Sinclair record, I said, we need to make records on a 4 on the floor. And if you've seen that, by 4 on the floor means boom, 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 boom. You know, by 2010, everybody started jumping on those kind of records. So that's where it came from. Joe Bagalo Seba.
Good question, Joe.
Great
Good
question. Really, really good question.
Last one. Here we go.
We got one more. Aaron from Brooklyn has the StubHub question of the night.
The StubHub.
As a fan, what was your most memorable concert and where was it?
Well, for one, I ain't had no money to go to concerts. Okay?
Which one did you sneak into?
It's crazy to say. I was about to say it. So we went into this Miami Park Colombian Festival, and it started raining, and it might have been 40 people left, if that. You know, I'm Cuban, I exaggerate sometimes. It might have been 4. Es la verdad, la verdad. You know? And it was Celia Cruz performing. All right? And she performed up there like if there was 400,000 people in that place. And with that big smile and just hitting it, you know, just hitting, kimbara, kimbara, kira, kimbamba, you know? And I was like, wow, that's what it is to perform. So it was my only concert that I've ever been to, but probably the most influential thing I've ever seen, to be honest with you. So it was great.
Familia, let's give it up for Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide.